Okay, it looks like we're live and we already have somebody watching. Hi, Terry. And Caroline as well. Okay, it looks like we're live and we already have somebody watching. Hi, Terry. And Caroline as well. Okay, it looks like we're live and we already have somebody watching. Hi, Terry. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sorry about that. Well, good afternoon. This is Bev Hall from Willowbank Crafts. Welcome to the online market spot by crafters and creatives. I'm glad that you're here with me today. Sometimes my phone allows me to see comments and there's no playback, but apparently today is not one of those days. So we're just going to go ahead without looking at my phone to see comments. I'm sorry. They may appear on my computer, but I'm not exactly sure. But I only have half an hour, so let's get started. So I offered you the choice, just to have some fun. I posted a choice for you as to what design you wanted me to demonstrate today. I thought that would be kind of fun for you to have that option. And it turned out by a narrow margin of 4 votes that the bunny rabbit is the one that we are going to paint today. But do not worry, because if you look at my Facebook page next week, I will demonstrate the second place one, which was the chicken. So let's get started. Let me turn the camera down. So one of the reasons why I chose the surface that I did these characters on was I've got quite a lot of extra surfaces that I've accumulated over the years. And they're all different shapes and sizes. And I wanted to create some designs for you that you could paint on just about any surface. So you can see they vary in size. And I also, because of the gnomes that I do, I seem to have an awful lot of little round circles in different sizes. And so I wanted to try and use those up. I mean, they certainly could be used for flowers, but I wanted to try and use them for something else as well. So that's why I came up with the rabbit idea. And you can see that even the smallest of little circles can be used to create the muzzle of a dog or the muzzle of any kind of animal that has a protruding nose. And all I did to prepare the circles was to take some sandpaper and put the two circles together and then sand them. So that instead of them being perfectly round, one end here is flat. And you can do that by taping the two circles together and then just rubbing them on an emery board or rubbing them on some sandpaper. Okay, so this is the project we're going to work on today. Let me see if I can get you a little closer. There we go. So she turned out real cute and very, very easy to do. So I've started off with this surface. It's 2.5 inches wide by 4 inches, but you can use any kind of rectangle. You can use a circle. You can use any shape that you have in your stash that has been sitting around and you don't know what to do with it. And then I took the two circles and I base coated this with sealer first and then sanded it. And then I put on a layer of baby pink, both on the circles and on the larger tag itself. So this is how they're going to fit. The next thing I'm going to do is take the little stencil, and I will have a pattern available this evening during my sale, which will include these 3 designs, and they will include a line drawing so that you can make your very own rabbit at home. So I'm just laying the design directly on top, trying to center it. I'm just going to grab a piece of tape and put some tape down to hold it in place. I do see that some of you are watching. I just checked to see the comments. Thank you all for joining me. So I'm using some gray graphite paper. You can also use white. There we go. Now I'm going to grab dragon fruit and I'm going to float around the edges. I'm going to take these two small pieces for the nose, the muzzle, and I'm going to tape them down because it's easier to paint when they're attached to a piece of cardboard. But we'll start with this, the larger shape first. This is not a color that I use a lot, but I've started to use it and I quite like it. But you could use, if you didn't have this, you could use royal fuchsia. I can see your names, but I'm afraid to say anything because there will be feedback that will come, and nobody wants to hear that. So while that is drying, I'm just going to grab the circles. So we'll put a little float on the left-hand side here. And the left side of this one. We'll let those dry. We'll just come back here and see if this is dark enough. I'm going to float above the nose, and above where I think the cheeks are going to go. And I'm also going to float on the right side of both eyes. And once we get the two circles on, I can float underneath there as well. I'm using toffee for the nose. Let's just okay. And I'm also using this color for the teeth. Would be helpful if this was on camera, wouldn't it? And while we're waiting for that to dry, we can start working on the eyes. I'm using white. Now we'll put a second coat of the toffee on there for the nose because it's not dark enough. Some of the pink is showing through. And now we need some black for the pupil. There we are. And I'm going to use a really, really fine liner. It's a 20-aught script liner. It's one of my favorite brushes for fine work. And I'm just going to add the eyelashes. I've also put on my palette some sable brown. We're going to use that to shade the nose, but we're also going to add the eyebrows. I'm going to just fix that. That was way too much water in that brush. Now we're going to shade the nose with that sable brown. And we're going to shade the underside and left side of each of these teeth. Then with a little bit of white, we could put a highlight across the top of the nose. And we can highlight each side of the teeth. Now we have to let those eyes dry before I can float the iris in there. With the white, you can put a highlight along the right side. Then once that dries, we can add these dots on the muzzle, and these whiskers are zinc. Let's make sure these eyes are dry. And I'm going to do a C float in the eyes. Let those dry. Now with some wood glue, I'm going to attach these two circles. So just put a little bit of glue on the back of each one. And we're going to place those on there to dry. And I'm going to plug in my glue gun because I want to show you how to make the ears. In your pattern, you're going to receive this tracer, and this will allow you to cut the right size of fabric. Now, you could use, I used felt when I made my rabbit. You could use, like I found downstairs in my stash of fabric, I found an old linen handkerchief that I guess belonged to my dad. It has some stiffness to it, so you could use that as well. So I'm just going to demonstrate how to go about doing this. So on this pattern, it shows you that you pinch together the fabric in the middle and then pinch again and pinch again. So you're pinching 3 times. So what I mean by that is you're going to take the fabric and you're going to pinch it together so that both these sides are roughly the same. Let's get you a little closer here. So pinch the fabric together, then you're going to pinch it together again. So you have 2 pinches, and then you create another one. So you have 3, and then you bring the other side up. And you can see how this makes a great little rabbit ear. And then all you do is, once the glue gun is ready, I will be sticking some glue in between each of these folds. So I'll just open this up, open this flap up, put some glue, pinch it, open the next one up, put some glue in there, pinch it together, open this next flap, pinch it together, and this last one, do the same thing. And then I've just glued them onto the back of the piece. I've also put a small little wooden block that I found at the dollar store. They come 6 to a pack, very inexpensive, and these are perfect because now these will stand up. Okay, so I'm just waiting on my glue gun. And I also trimmed the outside of the ear with the same baby pink that we used initially. And I just put some on a brush, and I found that if you wet the outside edge of the felt, the paint will flow much nicer. So the glue gun is not as hot as I'd like it to be, but I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to put some glue in between and pinch this together. Go to the next section where there's a little bit of a ditch in there between the fabric. Put some more glue in there. Pinch this together. Put some along this outside edge. Bring that up. And this is the last side. Let's put some glue in there and then pinch that together and hold it. Until it dries. So Barb Schwabel is coming after me. You'll have to go out and refresh this page in order to see Barb. And I wanted to show you the flowers that are at the top here. I purchased those at the dollar store, and they come in a package where you get a variety of colors and sizes. And I just used the hot glue, just put a little bit of hot glue at the top here and put the white one and then the two pink ones at the side. Now the last thing that I'm going to do, well, two things I'm going to do. Hopefully I'll have enough time. I hope you'll be able to come and watch my sale this evening. It's at 7:30 Central Time and 8:30 Eastern Time. And I think it's 5:30 Pacific. So I'm shading underneath the cheeks and around where the teeth are, and a little bit more up here. Then I'm using the Royal Fuchsia. To put these dots. They can be different sizes just for fun. And then with the zinc, and that fine liner brush, you can just pull these little whiskers. Just make sure that your paint is diluted so that it flows nicely. And then the last thing that I would do is two white curved lines on the eyes. And then with your stylus, just add a highlight dot up here at the top. So then all you need to do is make your second ear and glue it to the back, and then add your flowers. And you've got a cute little decoration that could be put in a tiered tray. You could even add a ribbon to it before you glue the flowers on it. It can hang on a basket. You could attach them to a larger circular surface, and you have a lovely Easter decoration. Well, thank you so much. My time is up. I hope to see you this evening. Thanks for spending time with me. Bye.